Sounds, Dark Angel's Journey. I'm Shakira. It is stupid early in the morning. Kitty is finally starting to look like regular Kitty, so I'm a happy camper. In any case, it's time for practicing. I need to get these glasses. You know, they're too loose. See, like one's like makes it so hard to keep them on. I lean down, they're like falling out. So annoying. Anyway, let's get ready to testing. Back testing. All right. I figured we'll go look at like Ethereum and Bitcoin and see if there's anything live we can do for the next hour that we can play towards. If not, then we'll go to actual back testing and we'll roll time back and all that good stuff. That sounds like a good time. I mean, on all of that is me trying to incorporate everything I've learned, see if I can notice all the little cool little nuances and reasons why you should or should not enter into things. I mean, wow, you know? Anyway, that sounds like a good time. Drop a like, drop a comment. Let's get ready to get tiny. Okay, no, I know, I'm silly. Don't judge me. All right, so this is my Ethereum space. Let's do a little cleanup, huh? Let's open that puppy up. So, why did I do that? Let's take that off. Breaker block for some reason. Break. Ooh, came back up into it. All right, buy side is gone. Let's move that up there. And sell side still up here. What's that one? There's another line in there. What are you doing? I have two sell sides in here. Oh, sorry guys. It's not sell side. It's most definitely buy side. But we're 10 miles away from it, so I'm not gonna bother to delineate that at the moment. And we are closer to this guy. Have we eaten all of this yet? We have not. Let me make sure I can clean this up a little bit. It's right there. It's the tiniest little bit left. They busted through, came back up. They took out sell side here, so let's readjust that. It's like the big sell side, for my opinion. Anyway, sorry, my screen's over here, so I'm trying to do this so it doesn't seem it's not too crazy when I do that. All right, so where are we? And I'm gonna dish out to actually the daily. And what do we got? All right, so let's see. So the last 20 days, the highest high was down here. That's gone. Lowest low still not taken. Relatively equal lows down here too. 40 days, that has been taken. Nice. Shallow run through it though. Very shallow. This guy is still very much in the crosshairs. Gotta clean this up a little bit. Pull that out. Smidge. And 60 days. So the highs for the last 60 days have been taken, the lows have not. Nice. All right, for the last 20 days, looking forward, we took out the high for the look back 20 days right here. And for the 40 days, we're trailing higher to and eating into this fair value gap. And then 60 days, pretty much just working towards that. And took it out. Not bad. This is from December 1st, so I am going to make a quick adjustment because we are in the Januaries. So I'm gonna move that. And then we're gonna go back down to the daily and readjust our, oopsie, and readjust our assumptions. Okay. Gotta keep doing this so that we can I select multiples at once? Yes, I. All right, let's just flop those there. Oops, there. Beautiful. All right, now let's readjust our thought processes. So since January, 60-day high, still that guy, taken, low, not taken. 40-day, well, I mean, that's the high, taken, not taken. 20-day, taken, not taken. So we've just been working our way up. So in the last 20 days, we've taken out this high with these moves. Did we get above it? Yes, barely, barely, barely. Yeah, perfectly on the 20th day too. We took it out. And then of course we've just been we still haven't gotten it. We're not anywhere close to the lows. And somewhere around March 2nd we should see some other move. On the 40th day we had during this time we're sort of working our way back down. I personally feel like, we're consolidating really hard in here, rebalancing price and hitting potentially hitting up. This guy I think is still in the crosshairs. But anyway. All right, well, understanding all of that, let's get back to the 1 hour. And let's see what's happened. Okay, so they blew through consequent encroachment, but it's so funny because they tapped it here and then flew away a little bit. All right, where are we at? So we're climbing. We've hit this bearish order block right here on the 1 hour. And sort of potentially, well, we're in a downtrend, so coming down. So let me drop just as to where this should have gone. The lows there. Actually, I should be using that one to that guy right there. So we tapped -2 quite liberally. That's pretty close to sell side. If I was aiming for consequent encroachment, which was here, that my take profit would have been down here or here, like the two below it. Not bad. Okay. So we had that break. Tried to rally, had a little bit of a turtle soup. Sell side taken, sell side, and then couldn't breach it. Rejection block right here. Came back down into it and then rallied away. And what do we have? Relatively equal highs there. Couldn't quite take this out. So the real buy side, as far as I'm concerned, is up here. At least on the 1 hour. It's up there. If they're going up there, that's where I feel like it's gonna go. Not to mention it's right next to this fair value gap and consequent encroachment on the fair value gap on the 1 hour. So since I'm gonna leave that out and I'm gonna clean this. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that so I can have specify consequent encroachment on that puppy there. And we're just gonna drop that there and just gonna add that. Okay, and then we can delete that. All right, so we did have a shift right here. Turtle soup coming in. They did take out sell side, so do they want to continue taking it out? If they can take this out, then as far as I'm concerned, we're definitely continuing back up. So in my mind, like the first real buy side crosshairs should be this guy. Get it up. Zoom in. make it nice and big for my eyes. So the first real buy side should be right there. And right there. And it's not quite right. Okay, yeah. And the question that we have is, will this fair value gap act as resistance? And let's see if we are at consequent encroachment on the 1 hour. Pew. Ho, ho, ho. This is gonna be interesting. We've got two poles on liquidity here. We've got consequent encroachment on the fair value gap. We've got buy side liquidity, both in the same place, pretty much. I mean, and we had this short-term high or intermediate turn high was taken, and we rallied into this, but we also have this bearish order block right here. Not to mention that we have um oh, these fair value gaps in the general vicinity. Price has come back to rebalance that. So let's see. Given the change in direction, I mean, I think this is more likely than this. But we have FOMC, sorry, not FOMC, we have CPI at 8:30. So anything's possible. So technically, if you're gonna do anything, like freaking do it before CPI comes out. All right, let's drop this down. So important to do you know, your analysis. It's hard to figure whatever the heck's gonna happen on a day like this, though. At least before any of that stuff. So let's see. What do we have? This is on the 5 minute. And I'm just curious. All right, so they took this out beautifully. Rejection wick. Couldn't take all of it. Rallied. Took out this area here. And then traded back down into this fair value gap. Let's see. Now, I'm wondering if it really should be this one that I should be concerned about because it's an old fair value gap. It's acted as resistance before here. And this one's a tiny one, right? So I think I'm gonna assume that price is gravitating back to this fair value gap right here. Tapped it and then took off because this guy's a small little dude, right? So for this guy, we have this set of order blocks, but consider them to be breaker blocks, right? Lower low, lower low, well, lower low, and then it's taken out. So could this be considered the breaker block? I think it might. That might even be it, actually. So far we've seen rejection block, breaker block right here. So if we extend it out from top of that to this, yep, it came back in, tapped the fair value gap that now has turned into support and then took off. Now, let me get rid of some of this stuff because even I'm getting it's doing too much for me sometimes. Now, in terms of like entries, right? I'm curious to see what options we had, right? Because there's an order for this, like fair value. It's a mitigation block, and let me pop open my notes here so I can make sure I'm practice on a regular, you know. There are interestingly, there are orders of magnitude for the different PD arrays. And I find that to be so very fascinating, you know? So hold on. Let me grab these and let me put it in a little text thingy for you guys. All right. And make that 12. Okay. Let's drag this over right there. Let's see. Can you guys see that? Let me see. Make sure. And let me zoom in a bit. Let me move this up. And let's make that a little bigger. Too big. All right. So, PUA above market price, order of importance, bottom to top. So the bearish mitigation, if we're like if we're bullish, right? The bearish mitigation block is the first thing to look for, then the bearish breaker, then a liquidity void if it exists, or fair value gap after that, bearish order block, rejection block is quite strong, and then old high or low, right? And if we look to the left here, let's see, did we get to an old high or low with this price action? We did not. We got a rejection block is what we got. So not bad, eh? Not bad at all. Just zoom in on this, put that up there. Great. So then of course if we're bearish, then the order is a bullish mitigation block, then bullish breaker, then liquidity void, fair value gap, bullish order block, rejection block, or old high, lower high. So in terms of like right now, we're switching to bullish. I'm looking for mitigation block, bearish breaker, all that stuff, right? And mitigation block is, let's say we're going down, right? I'm yelling timber, we better move. But then we break through. So this guy right here is the mitigation block, you know? Because all the people who had shorts going down and they're in a loss here, they're coming here to mitigate their losses, right? When price draws back to it. So let's make this smaller now that we have sort of covered it, and once you're in like an extended move, if price has to take a moment and relax itself, like it dropped, it did something consolidated, dropped, and now I'm gonna put this down here. Oh, sorry, my 6 o'clock alarm. And now it's meandering back up, but it's meandered back up into this bearish order block. So if it takes up buy side, then, you know, we'll see. We're still technically bearish in this general vicinity, but if it takes up buy side and then gives us some good continuation, behavior, that's not bad. But anyway, I was curious about, so we dropped, we consolidated, we shifted again, dropped, and then broke through, right? So I think this should be the bearish breaker before the shift. I know I said this one over here, or did I? I said this big one right here, right? So that would have put you in a good spot. Bearish breaker. And let me do this breaker block right there. And just use the body of the second candle there, just for funsies. And then we'd have like this fair value gap, and then this one holding it up. I mean, what does that look? I'm gonna hit the replay button just because I'm curious to see what this looks like on the one. Let's see what it looks like on the 4 minute. All right. I mean, honestly, and I'm starting to notice these signatures in price, right? Like once it comes down, into the fair value gap, right? And I'm finding that, like, when it rallies up, it does some stuff. It might come back up into the space, but unless it's like real oh, sorry, fast moving markets or something that's easier to move, not the soupy soup that we're dealing with, it's gonna come back down, right? It's gonna come back down into a space that makes sense for it. In this case, it came back down into the breaker block, right? And this fair value gap. Now it tapped it. Now look at the down close candles, right? They're also acting as support, right? None of these, you know, do they support the price for moving up, right? Like right here, they didn't, but they tapped it. You're expecting them to come and touch this. At most, consequent encroachment on that thing, this order block right here, at most. But once you start to see it like, you know, rally away from it, right? It took out this short-term high right here. Well, I guess it's an intermediate term high because of the thing. Is that a liquidity void? No. Oh, let me turn this off. I'm trying to see these things without too much help. What's the open of that? 14.8, no, sorry, the close of this, 14.84.23. And the open of this is 14.84.23. Okay, good. No void there. So this is on the 4. Let's go to 3 minute. What does that look like? Yeah, so you start to see the way these candles paint, right? And the down close candles, they're supporting the up close candles, like keeping it up. Eventually I'm gonna be so good, y'all. I'm so excited. All right. So then when this broke, we have this we're going down here. This is the order block. Sometimes great. So once it breaks, we had this order block for them to play with, right? So drag that over, and you see price isn't like trying to go lower, and we're slowly rolling up. Not to mention it's trading away from the fair value gap at this point, right? It came, it tapped it, it traded away from it. Let's take a look at the 1 minute. All right. So it came, it hung out for a little bit. It broke this nice little mini break here. Um, last green candle, uh, last red candle before. So this is like the order block. You could have placed your order from right there. Stop loss down here, and then you know there's lots of targets up here. There's buy side here, but we're on the 1 minute, right? So we want to like aim for something higher, right? So we had buy side here, we had buy side here, so depending on what you're trying to get back in from that, let's see. All right, let's zoom back in onto this area. So have I entered yet? No. I don't know about you, but sometimes these things, like, we finally broke above this, and why is this zoom not enough for me? Okay, it's better. Okay, so we've rallied away from the fair value gap support. Beautiful. We've broken this, and then we've traded back down into this um uh BISI, buy side inefficiency, sell side imbalance, right? So we're coming back in here to, and let me just turn back on. Yep. To balance that out, right? They came here. I find that they like to come. These guys that went long, their stop losses were like right here, taking those guys out, right? So this is too small, too far away. We've already traded away from that. So next potential entry is somewhere around here at this order block right here. And yeah, so let's see. All right. So now we're starting to rally up. And technically, the entry should have been down here on this order block right there. So entry should be at the top of that once it broke. And stop loss below it right there. And that's where it should be. Let's see if we have it to come back down. So that's a no. So we're coming to take this out. Let's see. Get that. Now in this scenario, we have a breaker block. We have got fair value gap. We've had sell side taken on the base here and prices turned around and this is turned into support. So I would be feeling very good about an entry here. Right? So now they're gathering more. There is a small inefficiency right here. I'd prefer if they left it open, but I don't always get what I want. So they tapped into it a little bit, gathering more orders. All right, so my interesting thing here. Let's go to the base of that. Consequent encroachment, man. Right, they went right to the middle of it, and then rallied away. Now, another thing that we can do is learn targeting, right? So let's drop the fib on here, and this is, let me do this, and this is the top before that. All right, so, and let's drop out to the 5 minute just for funsies. All right, so we have this big thing up here. This is, obviously we go above that, right? So this would have been, oh, sorry, let me delete this. That. Oh, sorry, my freaking hands. So I'd be looking for this buy side here. You know, price likes to hang out. We've already kind of fallen and we might not even make it up here, given this nice juicy break. That might stall here, somewhere around here, potentially, or it might tap this, right? So right now we're in this guy. Do I want to like write it up to these relatively equal highs right here? Yeah, why not? Let's mark that out. Let's say we're just writing it all the way up here. And let's go back to, we're on 5 minutes, right? Just like 2 minutes. Okay. So in terms, so that's already taken, right? And let's move this over. And this is already for a long position, a 1 to 5 or whatever on the 1 minute. It's not bad. So if I'm expecting them to come in to this fair value gap right here, right? Consequent encroachment of that is like about 14.95 or something like that. So then my thing should be up here at 14.96, 14 because it's above that, right? Whatever I'm aiming for. Or if I was aiming for this guy, then when I drop the fib, I should be aiming for -4, which is 14.93.70, right? With an entry at 14.83.91, right? But we want the higher level stuff. So my fib doesn't currently reach that high moment. So, and while we're doing that, let's go over to the 15. Actually, we can do this here. Let's use this guy. It's 15 minutes. All right. All right, so we're here, we're taking this puppy out. We have all of this juiciness to play with. So let's aim for this guy. So let's drop the fib on the 15 minute right here. Actually, let's try the lowest and then where it stopped right there. Okay. And if I'm going for here, then I should be aiming for this guy, 1526. So that's my aim. 1526, a little bit above buy side. All right. And then I'm gonna also, let's do this. I'm gonna also, so we dropped to the very base here. I'm gonna drop it right here as well. With this top and see if we have any like anything that coincides. And we do. The -3 and the minus negative 1 point whatever. They're really close. So beautiful. I'm gonna aim for that. All right. And it's just targeting. That's it. Beautiful. So that's what I'm aiming for. So that's gonna be sure that's not quite right because of the whole thing right here. All right, let's go back down to, or let's say 2 minutes. All right. So let's say we did get in down here with this order block on the 1 minute. Let's say the open of this was 1483.88, and that's what I would have been aiming for. And what's the close of this? 1483.33. And this one was 1483.88. Yep, I would have gotten the entry right there. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. So let's see what happens, because honestly, I don't know. And let's use like the fifth. I want to see. I want to. I want to see how the candle's painted. And it's not perfect, but I'm also working on trade management too, right? So let's zoom in. Use a zoom button. Zoom in on this action, right? Cool. It's easier to see. So we've come up. We hit consequent encroachment on this fair value gap. Beautiful. And then we seem to be rallying away. Oh, hello. All right, not bad, not bad. Stop loss is still where it is. I will move it as needed. All right, we're on the 1 minute. All right, so now we rallied. What's next? Took out this guy. Nice, nice. So slowly moving towards other things up here, right? Target's all the way up here. All right, so what do I want to see? I want to see them maybe tap this fair value gap, but keep moving, right? If they're, like they already meandered here and, you know, made this a relatively fair space. This isn't though. So if they came in, maybe consequent encroachment of this and then continue. But mainly I would prefer if they just kept going. So looks like they're gathering. Okay. Up close candles, I need it to support. Well, I need these down close candles to support the up close. Like if so far this one hasn't taken out the low of that guy. So, oh, there it is. But remember what I said, I was looking at potential consequent encroachment if they're really serious about continuing on up. And this is a bit of a rejection wick, so I need them to get past this puppy right here. And they rolled in about CE on that, approximately. All right. All right, so we're just gathering orders. We're thinking about it. Up close candle still supporting it. The body is green body still inside of this guy, still inside of that guy. Okay, now we're coming into this wick. All right, it's okay if they come into the wick. I don't want them to take out the whole thing. There we are. Beautiful. They didn't. Nice. Yes, yes, yes. Good, good. These things matter. Okay, now we're coming in with some gusto. I needed to like just fly past this thing right here. Because this guy is the new, area of concern. And this is what's reaching for. Let's go. All right, nicely done. All right. Oof. Don't fight it. Losing steam. All right, so now we've created an order block right here. Bullish. So again, consequent encroachment, we've got bullish order block, two beautiful things. I need this to support price, continue on up. Otherwise, this one needs to do the supporting. All right. And let me draw it out in time so I can just see. All right, fair value gap. All right, so all we're doing is just consolidating right now. I haven't taken this out. They've come close, but not quite. So consolidating. I don't know if they want to come back into this order block right here. By the way, the open of this red candle is 1489.77, and the low of this green candle is 1489.74. Hmm. Would have gotten a nice, beautiful entry right there for a long. Anyway, let's continue. All right, so we need this to remain as support. I don't really like to keep this wick in place. It's also making this a bit of a fair price area. They've done it down here, so I really expect them to come all the way back down here if they're continuing to be bullish going that way. All right. All right, so all right, there we are. Nice. I wanted a nice juicy break through this, no meandering about. All right, so let's look to the left. What did they take? All right, they took out this guy and they're coming in. Zoom in on that. All right, so they're zeroing in on this guy. So let's see. Got a lot of juiciness to work with here. So nice move there. Got a nice big wick to work towards or work through. All right. So rules of engagement, right? Once we get to about 50% of my target, then I will move my stop loss to break even. 75%, then I'll pick a more juicy spot. Okay. Let us continue on this journey of awesomeness. All right. Okay. So I expect it to maybe this order block right here, if it wants to come back down, that's like the base minimum that I expected to come back down. Maybe just consequent encroachment. Like this move says to me that they want to keep going somewhat strongly. Yeah, just a spot to gather an order. Could have taken an order right there. All right, beautiful, beautiful. All right. So let me drop the GAN box because since I'm aiming for this guy based off of the Fibby Fib, and let's see, 50% is about there. Then I'll move my stop loss to just under here. All right, just so I have a visual target to work towards. Nice, okay. So I feel like expansion should be the thing right now. No? Okay, that's okay. It's hard markets out here, but still very bullish. Stop loss is still where it's at. All right. Now these down close candles need to support the price, the upward trajectory. We haven't violated any of them. All right, we're moving. We've decided on a little bit of consolidation. Now we're coming up. All right. Ah, beautiful. So it tapped it. I am waiting for it to go all the way through it, but once it does, I'm setting my stop loss right here. Right there. A little bit above break even, pay for the fees, whatever. Okay. All right. So now if I had the seconds thing, this would be even more interesting because then we see the second candles painting. All right. So coming in here, we're coming towards this guy. I suspect at base minimum they might want to tap back down here, but I could be wrong. Bigger order block, tiny thing, whatever. But I prefer to see some expansion, like a proper, just keep it moving. All right, like we just got a slow grind here. All right, beautiful. Stop loss has been moved below this fair value gap. It stays there. So once we hit like 75%, then I'll consider moving it again. All right, so now we're coming up on this buy side. All right. I don't expect too much of a retracement, but anything's possible. Fair value gap taken. Still seem to create very many liquidity voids in crypto, from what I can tell. So now we're gathering some more orders at the 50 at my equilibrium. Let's see where we are, right? In let's see. Let's can we use this one? That I don't know if that one makes any sense at all. All right, let's let it continue to play. Okay, so remember, need these down close candles to support price. If we start breaking past them, then we might be coming down into one of these fair value gaps. Given where we are, I don't know that I feel like it's going to come back down this way too far, but this guy and this order block are my next line of defense. But so far, so good. Like this guy seems to be supporting. Okay, so we're gathering up some more orders here. I mean, nothing goes up in a straight line, right? Let me zoom in some more. Sometimes I was just like, my eyesight's pretty terrible. So if my eyesight's terrible, then yours is probably like the bomb.com. Oops, not move that. All right. Okay, would be even better. Now, in this scenario, we want this fair value gap to hold up price. So far, it's been doing good. If you notice, none of the bodies have, hold on, make sure I'm doing this right. Uh, um, let's do this. I can move it over and see the top and the bottom based off of the candles. All right, so we need this fair value gap, and let's make that a different darker shade, like really, really yellow, so you can see it. Okay, we need this guy, it's really yellow, to hold price up. So far, no body has violated it. The wick is okay. So let's see. All right, there she goes. There's this little guy down here. Like I said, this is the real line of defense, but still, we're mostly inside of this body. We need to keep this as support. And the down close candles need to support price. So I had a bit of a rejection block right there. Let's see, it's not a very big one though. So I need this to continue supporting price. Come on, you got this. We're going up, right? Okay, it's looking very nice here. I like that. I keep touching this. I like that. All right, now we need to come through, take out this buy side. Generally, price likes to meander around in that general vicinity. Okay, are we still not closing a body below that? So that's beautiful, beautiful. So we're just being annoying and consolidating. Okay. Let me just draw this out a little bit. All right, still acting as support. Smaller candles, losing steam. I guess we're waiting. Is it 6 o'clock, right? Did Sydney already open? All right, so now that we've shown no desire to drop below here, then also a nice buying opportunity, but we are pretty close. We're halfway to our thing, so still we're at the what I consider to be equilibrium for my personal purposes. So, all right, so we just I hate this meandering about. Okay, we still haven't closed the candle below it. zoom in on this section. Let's draw that out, give it a little bit more room, and let's make sure it's right there. Okay, oops, it's a bit too, a little more opaque there. So we can see the bodies of the candles, so let's take that off. So just make sure this is properly salted out. So from the base of this candle to the wick of that one, that's where we are on that Fair Valley Gap. Still in the body, still inside of it, still supporting. Up, just drop below it. Now this wick right here, I don't want to see them take it out. Consequent encroachment is about right there. If they do, then this is the next draw. Price is relatively balanced. Yeah, price is relatively balanced in this space. Let me just make sure I'm not, except for that little tiny thing, which has already been eaten. They might be coming to rebalance it. You know, the only other draw would be this guy down here. So let's see. So now that we've come back down, I haven't quite made it to rebalance. Let's see. Are we turning this into resistance? It could just be like a little, everything likes to turn around and think for a bit. Some of these drawbacks to these order blocks and fair value gaps before it moves on. All right, so we need this wick to hold it up. Let's see. Okay, are we coming back through? Oh, that was pretty decisive. Took relatively equal lows on the wick there. I think we just took it out. Yep, so they're coming back down to this guy. Okay. I know it's long and tedious. I'm just watching these candles get their painty paint on. So we're meandering down to this guy. Question is, will they tap it and go, or will they take it to midpoint and go, or will they take the whole thing and go? Either are possible. We've got these bullish order blocks in here, and I haven't even bothered to look around to see if there's more. So we are meandering, not with a lot of conviction. Okay, so they took out this short-term low. We're still bullish, but we know they like to come back into order blocks to get more orders. Now, this has turned into resistance a little bit. Let's see if it stays that way. All right, so there we go. Bust right through that puppy. Okay, so now I'd like to see them take this out, take that out, and they like to meander around these things. Okay. Still consolidating. All right. So fair value gap here between these two. They've come into this spot. See what if they want to roll past it. All right. So at this point, this is a very balanced price range, right? They've come in, they've painted it multiple times. Same with this fair value gap right here. We've gone up, buy side inefficiency, sell side imbalance. They came and tapped it, painted it, and then they painted above it again. So just gotta wait for them to get out of this funk, eh? So this isn't a balanced price range. If they wanted to come back down, I guess it makes sense for them to want to do so, balance it out. But I don't expect them to come down too far. And look at these candles, man. Where are we in this wick? Oh no, they're still just inside of this wick. So let's see. what they do with it. Still thinking. We're slowly making our way down. Consolidating. So much consolidating. We have eyes on the prize. Thinking. Thinking. Now check it. They just made consequent encroachment on that tiny wick. All right, but we know they're coming down to this thing. Now, they've tapped it. Do we just tap it and go? Or, like I said, midpoint, whatever. Let's assume at most midpoint, and then we're off to the races. All right, coming up on midpoint. All right, looks like they want to take the whole thing. It's like a slow meander. Okay. All right, I need this to be support. So turn around. There we go. Come on. All right. Let's show me that you want this to be support. Order block, order block, last line of defense. Oops, keep doing that. Actually, let's make this like super, let's make that even more opaque. It's not so in your face, you know? Okay. So all right. And let me just draw the order block that I'm thinking about. That guy. And let's set that to a demand order block. Now, if I'm being honest with you, they do have the potential to come back to these guys right here if they really want to. So my stop loss is up here. But we're shifting directions, right? So, and imagine if I put my stop loss here, I would have been stopped out already on what should potentially be a pretty lucrative trade, right? Anyway, so let's see. So we're inside this demand order block. I want them to stay above mean threshold, which is about right there. So let's see what they do. Now I need them to break above here. Give me a little bit of a shifty shift. And is this going to turn into support? Oh, let's get some butter. Looking like it's turning into support. This is lackluster. Okay, we've hit mean threshold. All right, coming back down. A lot of things to sit through, you know? Probably think to yourself, oh no, my tray is eroding. Oh no. We draw this out. What's over here? Bullish order blocks. Now, I find it very lackluster that they did not take this out, those highs. I think I should have figured that was as some sort of clue. They didn't take it out, and then they just started to meander down, and then this guy couldn't even take out, yeah, couldn't even take that out. So obviously we're coming down. But I'm new, so I'm holding on to my trade. I've managed it down here. I know where I want to go. If I get stopped out, then that's fine because then I'll just look for another entry. And we've hit order block right there. Let's see. So we're very, all right. Let's zoom in some more. All right. So, relatively equal highs, they should take them out. I need it to come above here and turn this into support, and then I'll feel good. They didn't care about this order block, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay. Took out these relative equal highs. I mean, how could they not? It's so close. And we've got this fair value gap right here for them to num on. So should be going up into that. No, they pulled back way further than I would feel comfortable. But once I see what they're gonna do here, um, can we bust through it and turn it to support? I mean, price is gonna do what it's gonna do. So we've taken that equal highs out as well. At minimum, they'll come back to here. We've got a fair value gap right in between here that they can come play with this order block. All right, they're tapping it. This is like soup. It's like pushing through soup. Molasses, maybe. Pushing through molasses is better. Oh, man. All right, so we're just... And let me draw this out so I don't forget that I have it here. So fair value gap right there. So they're skating along it. I mean, come on. It's like 9 o'clock, so I guess Asia, we're probably gonna wait till Asia to do something in either direction. Should have checked what the high and low of the day was. But we're here now. All right. So is this gonna act as resistance? Let's see. Because this is definitely support at this point. There you go. Nice, strong candle breaking through it. Beautiful. All right. I need it to continue going up. And pulls on that wick. Fair value gap right here, right here, right here to right here. So I want them to eat this first one, but not to touch the second, all right? Just run away from it. Okay. Turning this into support. Beautiful. Let's do it. If price would just do what I tell it, that would be amazing, right? So here we go. It's around almost around consequent encroachment of this fair value gap. So let's see. All right, so they've rebalanced priced here and tapped a little bit into the one down here. Now I've got to break through candles, right? Breaker should be somewhere around here. At these 1 minute. Coming back down to this guy. See, price doesn't listen to me. So it's tapped into what is essentially consequent encroachment on this guy. All right. Took all of it out. Came back to this. All right. Well, we've had a shift. We've come back down into this order block right here. Now, if they break through this guy, then I would just close my trade because the heck, and then look for another entry. Now, this is a pretty well balanced price area, except for this thing right here. So I don't know if they want to like balance that out before they go back up. See here. And these up close candles, they are supporting the downward conversation. Yeah, so still going down. All right, you want to reclaim that. Now you have, all right, so this up close is not supporting that. It's not supporting this narrative. So let's see. Zoom in a little more because see these dang candles, right? So this guy turning into support. We busted through this. That made me feel good, but we're back into this order block. We're still inside of this order block. No, they could reach down to this guy, but like I said, if it busts through this, I would just potentially close the trade. Although my stop loss is still down here, and we still have this guy in the way, and we did have a shift right here, so I don't expect them. So maybe I would close it if it busts past right here. Okay, so I'm trying to work through this trade management thing, right? All right. So we had a fair value gap right here, and we've just equalized it with this candle. Actually, we did it with some of this, but finished it up with that. All right. Took out the short-term high. Now I need to see them break through this with some gusto. Come now, you've spent too much time meandering about in here, thinking about what you want to do with yourself. You know you want to go up. It's how you keep yourself sane, huh? All right, so now the fair value gap in here and one between here and here. Could be coming back into this order block. Let's see. Back into the fair value. Okay, finishing it up. I mean, this is like, there's a lot of patience that's required for this stuff. Still acting as support. If we can't get above here, I don't know, might as well just close it. But we have to take time into account, right? It is 9:57, 10 o'clock. Asia's probably going to come into play soon. So one way or another, we're going to have some movement. Sydney brought us back down. All right, we're coming down. These up close candles are still telling me we're going down. Supporting it barely. And keep doing that. Consolidating is very frustrating. There we are. Come now. Come now. Let's take this out. Good. Did Asia just come into play? Probably. All right, so we took this out. We need that one out. We had a nice shift here. We're meandering about inside of it. So turn this into support and let's keep it moving. Come now. Come, my lady. Come, my lady. You're my butterfly, sugar, baby. Big fair value gap here and here. You know, when price moves so very aggressively. Relatively equal lows here. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. So if I drop this here and drop that up there, just Checking to see above that, above that, then that guy on the smaller time frame. So we're still zoomed in. This is gonna be a long one, y'all. All right, let's turn it into support. I am going to just delineate between these two right there. And I don't want it to come back down. I need this to be a breakaway gap. Let's make that red. I want this to be a breakaway gap and just keep going. Because we're in the soup. The soup. Okay. Constant encroachment, approximation. ICT just came online. This is very annoying soup. Okay. Coming into this other fair value gap. I'm gonna hold it up again. Couldn't take this out. Now I should look at the 5 minute just to get a feel for what it is. Yeah, we're just going sideways, right? We haven't taken this low out. And they might take this one because it's too easy, eat it and then go. Seen this a lot actually recently. And just out of curiosity, even if we're aiming for all of that, what would this have been in terms of the ratios? A 1 to 11, still pretty good, you know? But I'm aiming for that guy right up there. Anyway. No, could have taken partials, but they still didn't take this out. They didn't take it. Why? Because they want to meander about and annoy me? Yeah, like anybody, like the market cares about me specifically. All right, so they didn't care about that guy and they balanced that out. So what are we doing? We're just going sideways. All right, so this is this is not right now. We're balancing out this price. It's relatively equal low, so I'm not surprised if they want to dip below here. But I want to keep this as support. There they are, they've taken it. And these up close candles are still supporting the downward narrative. That one isn't. We're going to do that. Yeah, there it is. And then we just get lackluster. Done that, drop, lackluster. Done that, drop, lackluster. Took that. So next to be taken is this and then that. But look at it. This dropped, we had one, two. This dropped, we have one. I'm not gonna count this guy. Still support though. The fact that they've been meandering about in here for so long, it makes me feel like we're still going up. Let me draw this out just so I know. They tried to escape up here a couple times. Mm. Come now. Make a decision. Reading price is this slow, isn't it? Still support. Come on now. Now, the way this range is behaving, let's look at premium and discount. If I'm using this top and that bottom, we're in a discount. They dipped into the premium, back into discount. Let me see. It's just not a lot of Candles are so weak. Come on. What is this? Like one green candle, one tiny gross candle, one green candle, one tiny gross candle. It's very annoying. Still support. So far we've had two of these, one higher, one lower. Do we bust through it next? Just for funsies? These candles are annoying. And now we've chosen a direction. What time is it? 11? All right. So if did we just bust below here? So I would just close the trade right here. Why? Because we've been meandering around too much and just got to pick a direction. My original trade idea was perfectly fine, except I want it a lot. So let's do this. All right, so I was expecting, oh man, I'm silly. I should have, like, I could have been aiming for consequent encroachment on this wick right here, on this up close wick right there, and I would have gotten a nice little pew, and that would have been fine. Delete that. And that would have been on that wick, that would have been a 1 to 10 ratio on a 15 minutes, which is pretty freaking great of a move. But I'm thinking to myself, like, if they take out this low, then I want to get out of here, right? And my long term view is up here based off of my fibby. Let's see. Should delete that one. Meander right there, right there. Okay. So my above this buy side, I'm thinking this 1526 is my target. Boom. Still thinking that, but this video is getting a little long and nobody's gonna watch all of that. But look, there we go. Let's go to 1 minute and see how this plays out. All right. So I misspoke. I would have closed it here, not here. This short-term low is intermediate low is the one I would have been ready to close it at. We didn't get there, so we're still meandering about. And sorry about this. And this is turned into support, and we've just busted above here, so and we're into the premium. Are we turning this into support? This thing is so annoying. They're just hanging out at equilibrium. Isn't that annoying? Just hanging out at equilibrium. Come on. Okay, so in terms of trade management, close it here if I'm wrong would mean me moving my stop loss up here. Not moving it, but I would close it manually here. So let's see. Let's do this on the 5 minute and maybe, we can see the sideways move. Just gotta wait for it to get out of here. So let's do the 5 minutes. Okay. It's just meandering about at the halfway point between the range. That's annoying. Okay. Still support, still resistance. Stuck between a FVG and an FVG. Oh man. So I have to sit through all of the soup. Jeez. If I just throttled out here, been fine too, and we could find another entry because we had a shift here and could have entered at any of these. All right. Oh my God, so much soup. Did we finally just break about this and that? What about this? Come on, let's get out of here. You tried, you wicked it, coming back down. Come on, with some gusto. All right, fair value gap. Just take half and go. Take half and go. We want to take the whole thing. Still inside the soup. So annoying. Oh, have we hit where price is at right now? No, I can't be right. Oh, it won't go forward anymore. Have I come to where price is at the moment? Oh, bar replay can't be connected. It is Tuesday, that's for sure. Oh, it's frozen, guys. It has frozen on us. The screen has frozen. Let's minimize that. So, yes. Did we ever make it to our take profit up here, 1526? Looks like that's a close, but no. Can I... Let's plop this one up. Is that one broken too? Is this where price is at right now? Yes, it is. All right, so we did wick back up to come in here, and that's where we are. So we wouldn't have gotten that. But if we're aiming for this guy, we would have gotten this perfectly, easily. All right, and if we're being honest, like this should have been the main objective, because we were already in this break, another break. Unless they broke above here, then I shouldn't be aiming for that anyway. But we'll learn something new every day. All right, guys, I am going to call that quits and go watch some ICT. This is, I think, one of the longest ones I've done. The sun is coming out. Smelling some fresh air up here. Happy trading. Be safe. Drop a like, drop a comment. And Shakira out.